Welcome back to our class with Mr. Darby. Yesterday I was drawing a Charizard EX and somebody says to me, can I have that? So I thought, well, let's go ahead and put a drawing video together. If you're joining me today for a Charizard EX, get your pencils, get your paper, get something to color with, and let's get ready. All right, one of the keys to this drawing is going to be that we don't make its head too big. If its head's too big, its body will be too big. We won't be able to fit any of it. So come up here to the top. A little off to the right, we're going to make a check mark for its eye. That's its eyebrow. And then we're going to come down and around for the bottom of the eye. And then we can kind of fill in a little eyeball here. All right, a little over here to the left, we're going to make the forehead. Comes down at a diagonal and then down for its snout. And the forehead kind of comes back over top of the eye, and then you have two horns that are rounded on top. All right, this one's being overlapped, it's on the other side. The mouth here starts right underneath the eye, and it comes down in the diagonal and across. Now, if you notice, this diagonal line and this one are very similar. Let's go ahead and make this like a roller coaster. Comes across underneath and then down. So here we can put two teeth. They're just like little triangles here. They kind of curve a little bit. And then they have a tongue. So the tongue actually comes out and back in and up, getting wider at the end. And then we can connect the mouth here at the bottom. All right, if you have a space between the tooth and the mouth, the tongue, just kind of connect it so it looks like the mouth goes behind there. We can make a similar kind of roller coaster ride coming down and connecting to its chin like this. The back of the head is going to be like a backwards L here, like that. And you almost want it to look like this would come through and connect to the top of the mouth, but it's not going to do that. We can make our neck now coming down. You don't want to make it too short. All right, let's make a fold under the neck so it looks like it's folding over and creasing a little bit. And then the neck is going to get wider as it comes out, down. And then there's like a shoulder, but before the shoulder, it's actually going to have the wing where the wing comes out, okay? And then copy that shape right here. This will be the actual shoulder. So the arm will come out and over. And then we're going to flip this upside down. So it's the same thing. You're going to make the other part of the shoulder and the arm will come out here. All right, we'll leave that alone for now. We're going to put the forearm and the hands in a minute. But let's go over here, and on this side we're going to do a very similar shape, a rainbow shape. And then this one's going to come down and out. And this right here below will kind of come down and get skinnier at the bottom for the elbow here. The next big step here to help us out is going to be to put this belly in. It'll help us decide. It's kind of like a J shape. It starts up above this line for the armpit area. That's what it's called. And it comes down and it comes over. Okay? And the wider you make that, the bigger around is going to be. Okay. Let's come down from this arm. Let's make a crease here like we did in the neck for a fold. And then we'll make the back kind of come down a little bit. And it'd be like it was connecting, but we're going to stop because we need to add the leg. So right here, we're going to make the leg. I want you to bring this down, in, and back out. And the same thing on this side. It's very bell-shaped if you look at it. Okay. From here, let's just take a break from the legs and go back to the hands. So the hands are pretty simple. Don't make them too hard on yourself. First of all, the forearm has a muscle, so it's kind of sticking out or bulging out. The elbow, it kind of does the same thing so that it comes in and gets skinny. And then this is like a letter W. Watch how I make this W It's like a bubble letter W, and it's a little bit bigger around near the top of the finger. So you go one in, one that goes straight up, so straight up, and then one that goes out the other way and down and connect. Pretty simple, right? We can do the same thing with the other side. Let's put a little rainbow shape in here to make it look like his hand. And then you can decide where you want the claws to go. This is just a nice simple way to do it. I'm going to have this claw pointing this way, and I'll make this claw pointing back that direction, and then this claw also pointing that way. It's way easier than you thought. Okay, so let's do the same thing on this side over here. Let's come up and get skinnier to look like the muscle on the left. You want to make these the same size. Don't make another arm, the other arm bigger than the first. And then this comes down and you have your elbow. At the end of this, we're also going to make our W shape. So let's go ahead and come out and in and out and in and out and in. And then we can add our rainbow shape inside the palm and then decide where do we want to put our claws. I'll put this one up here, this one over here, and this one over here. Pretty simple. In the belly, we got to put a rainbow shape so that the color can change. So let's come up just below the armpit and then down so that it hides behind the leg. And I know we have some wings to do, but before we get to the wings, let's go ahead and finish these legs off. So you want your legs to be the same thickness. I'm going to start up here. I'm going to make like that J shape again. This is very common, right? To make that shape. And then we will bring in a backward C shape right here, but not touching the J, and stop just a little below it. We'll make another J coming down, upside down almost, right? And then we have the toes. So in order to do the toes, let's do this. Let's come in and go 1 rainbow, 2 rainbow, 3 rainbows. And then this last rainbow will bring it down a little further. Go ahead and connect the bottom of that to the leg. That's the heel almost. All right. To make these look like they're overlapping correctly, you have to start with the first toenail. So it's going to come down and over. The second one, come down and over. And the third one should be smaller and come behind it. Look how easy that is. Let's do the other side. The other side's a little different because it's on a different angle. So make a backward C shape here at the bottom of the leg. And then make a rainbow and a line. And a rainbow and a line. And this one's going to be a half a rainbow. It's just going to come up and it's going to connect to the top of the foot. Now, this toe is more like a V shape coming toward you, and so is this. But this one here goes off to the side, just like that. And that's it. Now, let's go up and do our wings, and then we'll put our tail in over here that's on fire. So the wing is going to dip behind the thumb, if that's a thumb, and come out and up here by his head. So watch, I'm going to make a line come up, behind the thumb, all the way out and around, like a letter C. And then this kind of has one of those little shapes that looks like Charizard's horn. And it comes back in. And then we're going to take this almost to the corner of the paper. Now, let's start here at that corner and follow along that line the whole way behind the hand and all the way back to the shoulder. Great. So hopefully this is going easy for you. If it's giving you trouble, don't feel bad. This is not the first time I've drawn it either. But remember, you can pause the video if you fall behind or you're feeling stressed out. The goal is not to be stressed out. It's to enjoy your time, feel like you're doing something that you can be proud of. So let's make a backward C shape here that comes all the way down. It's kind of flattened out though, toward where the finger is here. And then it's going to come in behind the arm hide, and then come out the other side. One of the most important things you could do is make sure that this line looks like it's connecting even though it goes through there, okay? And then this will have a line that comes up from here and stops. It doesn't connect. Let's go ahead and do the other side. This is going to be on a different angle over here, so it's not the exact same thing, but it's close. Coming out of the shoulder, we're going to come out and up. It's a slight curve, isn't it? And then we're going to have that horn here. It's squared off pretty nicely. It's a nice smooth line. And then this is going to go right off the top of the page. And I apologize if you're feeling bad that you don't get to draw the whole wing, but this is a pretty big creature. And so if you make it smaller, if you made the head smaller, you wouldn't take up the whole paper. I like taking up the whole paper. I think it's important we learn to do that and become more brave about how we draw. And then I'm going to follow that line back down just like I did on the other side. Try and keep the same thickness. That's really important too. And then we're going to pretend this wing goes off the page up here and comes back on. And right here, it's touching the edge of the page. And then it's going to come back behind the thumb, behind the arm, and into the body, all looking like they're in a straight line. Same thing, we're going to put the little line that goes up into the horn, and we're good. Okay? Let's put that tail on. So the tail actually starts right about the middle of the belly, and it comes down and it goes behind the leg. And then it's going to come up like a backwards S right here, so we can go over and up and in. And then the top of the tail looks like it comes down off the back of the body, shows up right here at the top of the leg, and it comes up and it follows and it gets skinny. From here, we're going to go ahead and add our flame. All right? Pause it if you need to catch up. So let's add the fire. The fire just looks like this, like a candle. If you've ever drawn a candle flame before. I put a little line or two in there just to give it a little extra detail. And then I want to add another line around that that comes up, and another line around that that comes up but doesn't connect. And then I can make it look like there's little wiggly hot lines around it. Just like that. At this point, I think it's looking pretty nice. Go ahead and get your color pencils or your markers, and let's get ready to color. Alright, so I have these markers I've been using for a little while, and just so you can kind of see, I do a swatch of each color, test the color to see what they're going to look like. Just because the color's on the end of the marker doesn't actually mean that that's what it's going to look like on the paper. So down here, I test it, I write the number, and then I know what I need to go to every time I want that color. So I'm going to go with 505 for his body because I like how that looks. And I'm going to go to 713 because I like that for the shadows, and you can see that doesn't look much different on the end of the marker. And then I'm going to go to a 204 for the belly, and then I have to figure out his wings are like a green color, a green-blue color. So let's go with 754. And looks like 25. here's our finished Charizard. And he came out looking pretty sweet. The only thing I noticed is that if I don't put paper underneath my coloring, my alcohol-based markers tend to bleed and wipe and smear and smudge, and it's pretty disappointing. So we learned that today. That's okay. I also put a C shape here in the nose for a nostril, but overall, Charizard EX came out pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed drawing with me today. I look forward to drawing with you again soon. In the meantime, stay safe and keep practicing, because you know, and I know, practice makes progress.